Hello there, everybody. I see everyone's joining our fantastic Fireside webinar today. We're delighted to be able to be in your homes, all nice and comfortable, and we don't have to worry about the weather. Sometimes technology isn't such a bad thing, right? So let's start to do some introductions. My name is Lois DeStefano. I'm the Director of Marketing and Sales at Kendal on Hudson. And there's a fantastic marketing team that is here for your support. And it's my pleasure to introduce them to you. So first we'll hear, Melvin, why don't you sneak over there? Good. We did have to share a camera today. You're going to see Melvin. You can pick him out. He's the only gentleman in the group here.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Melvin. I'm the move-in coordinator of the marketing department. I basically step in once your apartment is selected and all the paperwork is finalized. That's when I come in and I work with you on finishes, constructing the apartments, however vision you have in your head. And I walk you through the whole process and making this transition over to Kendal as seamless as possible.
He also happens to be one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And he does take a lot of the stress off of moving in and the whole process. So to know Melvin is to really love Melvin. Then we have Taylor Dawson. Taylor, please tell the folks what you do and a little bit about you.
Hello, everybody. I see a lot of names who probably already know who I am, but for those who don't, my name is Taylor. I am the sales counselor here at Kendal on Hudson. Essentially, I am your connection to assist you through the journey of transitioning to a Kendal on Hudson resident. I thank you all for logging on today and welcoming us into your homes. And it's so nice to see so many familiar names. And for those who I don't yet know yet, I look forward to getting to know you.
Thank you, Taylor. And then we have Kristen Cognetta. Kristen, you want to say hello to everyone?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kristen. I'm the marketing coordinator here. You may have heard from me this week. I helped set this webinar up. We're excited to connect with you all virtually. So I most likely have sent you a link or spoke to you over the phone about today's virtual event. So welcome, and we're looking forward to connecting. And I help with all the applications here. So for waitlist applications, your medical applications, contracts, I help with all of that process. And I'm your go-to contact person here in the department.
Not only that, Kristen was very helpful in getting my background here for you today. It is a fireside chat. So, and this fireplace is really in Kendal's lobby, although it's a picture, okay, but it's our fireplace in the lobby, and you can really enjoy it anytime with a good newspaper or book. There's some beautiful views in that lobby too. But you're right here in our living room and we're in yours. So with that said, what we're going to do today is I'm going to share a brief PowerPoint with you to talk about some important points about Kendal. You may be familiar with some of them, but you know, we're like a good movie. Every time you hear it, you're going to hear something different. Also, I have an incredible video to show you, and then we're going to follow up with some questions and answers. Kristen did compile some of your interests. I'm going to make sure to touch base on that at the end. And we're going to now, I'm going to share my screen with you. Here we go. Give me 1 second while we transition. So starting here, Kristen is going to share with you how you can participate in this webinar as we go along.
Hi, everyone. So if you are not familiar with Zoom, there is a toolbar at the bottom of your screen. You'll see a chat box, and that is where you can send messages to us, to myself or Lois. If you need something, you can also ask questions at the end of the presentation. After Lois is all set, we'll be doing a question and answer session, and you could submit your questions in the Q&A box. You can also submit a question by raising your hand, and we will unmute you if you'd like to ask it that way.
So right now we're going, Kristen, Taylor, and I are just going to close our videos while we're sharing the PowerPoint. And here we go. So welcome to Senior Living 101. It's a fireside chat. We're in your living room and you're in ours. So what do we really want to touch base on today about Kendal? Some key points. Well, I want you to know that Kendal on Hudson is a licensed continuing care retirement community, or better known as a life plan community. And that's what I'm going to refer today to us as a life plan community. We have had solid operational and financial foundations here for over 16 years. One key distinction is that the Kendal culture that stems from our residents is based on a Quaker-related values and practices. And that really means that there's a spirit of community and collaboration that inspires the deeply held belief that life can bring new opportunities of growth and development when given the right environment. When you become a part of the Kendal family, there's a terrific welcoming committee that's here to give you an orientation to the community, and in short time, you feel like you're home. The big difference that you'll find here is that we are a life plan community with life care contracts, and that's the key word. There are other life plan communities, let's say in Westchester County, there's 12 throughout New York State, but they all do not carry life plan contracts. And that's a very important question to ask. Do you have life plan contracts or fee-for-service contracts? And here at Kendal, we only offer life plan contracts. And a life plan contract is a financial tool for you. And what it does is it provides you with the security of life care and the enjoyment of a very purposeful lifestyle. We serve adults over age 65. And here you take control of your future. You have freedom, independence, autonomy, a uniquely resident coordinated programs, and a tremendous individual lifestyle. The most important components of a life plan contract is that you have predictable costs and peace of mind and asset protection and tax deductions. So let's look a little deeper into this. To get to Kendal, you have to have a plan, or to get anywhere, you have to have a plan. And do we have one? It's very easy to put on the calendar, oh, I'm going to see my financial planner. Oh, I got to go see my estate planner. And then something comes up and you move it on your calendar. I say that retirement sometimes can be like a toothache. When we don't have a toothache, we're not thinking of our dentist, but then all of a sudden, when you do have a toothache, what happens? Oh my gosh, I got to go to the dentist. Well, we can't treat retirement like that, because you need to make plans when you can and not when you have to. Crisis management is not a good idea in retirement. So what steps can you take for your retirement? And they're different for everyone. It's not a cookie cutter type of a plan. And that's why it's important that you take the time to make the right plan for you. So what are your choices? You can stay at home. Today, that's called aging in place. And you need to think about the physical structure of your home. Are there stairs? Where's the washer and dryer? Where's the bedrooms? Do we have to make some changes, accommodations to assist as you go through the aging process? Are the doors wide enough to walk through with a walker? All of those things. So you do that evaluation. You will need people in place to probably assist you. Once you can't drive anymore, you're going to need help with driving. So you've got to make that long-term plan and really understand if it's right for you and how those costs fit in. The other thing is you can downsize. Maybe your house is way too big. You've got 4 bedrooms. You don't use 4 bedrooms. Maybe it's a tri-level or bi-level. You can get great apartments. Everything's on one level with elevators. They have community centers. And that could be a nice transition for you to downsize to a smaller home. And then you can continue to age in place there. And then the most popular choice is to move in with your children. And I say that while I can't hear you, I'm sure you're groaning or laughing because I have 3 children and I don't know, they all like to tell me what I need to be doing. Have you found that to be true for you too? So because of that, we do have another choice, and that's to move to a continuing care retirement community or a life plan community. So once you've made your choice, let's say it is a place like Kendal. Let's see what happens. Again, we go to life care advantages. So when you have a life care contract, whatever you're paying for your monthly fee is what you will pay for assisted living, memory care, or skilled nursing, which is the nursing home. And you know upfront what your costs are going to be, no matter if they're 5, 10, 15 years from now. It gives you asset protection. I'm sure that you've heard of irrevocable trusts, or better known as Medicaid trusts, where people use some tactics to protect their assets against the predatory rates of long-term care. And there are choices out there that you can do. But when you come to Kendal, the moment you sign that contract, your assets are protected because you know what your costs are going to be. Most importantly, you know the level of care that you're going to be getting. And there's a tax advantage. And that was one of the questions that folks had was, what are these tax advantages? Well, first you have to be able to be eligible for them. And it has to do with your monthly service fee and your entrance fee. Part of the entrance fee is dedicated to healthcare. It's considered prepaid medical, and it's 100% tax deductible the year that you move in. Your monthly service fee will give you year after year after year of tax deduction. There's a portion of it that's also considered prepaid medical. We send a letter to our residents every year, so you can take it to your tax preparer because it does change. Last year, one person would get close to $2,000 a month. So you're looking at about $25,000 a year just off your monthly service fee. That would be for one person. It's a little higher for 2. The reason that it's done from the time you move in, it's because you have a life care contract. If you went somewhere that didn't have a life care contract, and when you need long-term care, you pay prevailing rates, you can't get that benefit because you don't have a life care contract. You have a fee for service contract. So these are all things that when we get to spend a little more time together, I can elaborate on them and give you documents that you can share with your financial advisor and your tax advisor. The apartments are maintenance free. We have terrific wellness programs, indoor pool, exercise, yoga, Pilates, walking trails. There's everything there to keep you healthy. And we do have a tremendous quality of care. We were ranked the best nursing home in Westchester County and #1 nursing home by US World and News Reports. If you go to the Center for Medicare and Medicaid on the website, you will see that Kendal has been a 5-star rated nursing home for years. And let me tell you folks, that's not easy to maintain. So now what about the lifestyle? You know, I've been telling you about your future and how, you know, what happens if we age, but you're vibrant, you're living a great full life. How does that fit in to Kendal? Well, you get a meal a day in our dining room. We have a bistro where you can buy breakfast and lunch. The food is delicious. We do not outsource our food service program. It's all done in our community with culinary chefs that provide a variety of dining. You also have a vegetarian item at every meal. And if you have special needs, whether it's gluten-free, salt-free, you can meet with the dining director and you can make certain arrangements when you first move in. We have a beautiful swimming pool with water aerobics, fitness classes, a gym that has every bit of equipment that you could ever want. There's tremendous programming that is coordinated by the residents. We just had a 6-week course on China, a 3-week course on Greek plays. We've also had classical music, jazz music. We have all different, we have community clubs, art, very large art community. So the social component is totally met at Kendal. We offer transportation services to medical appointments within 15 miles of Kendal. The apartments are maintenance free. We have housekeepers that will clean your apartment every other week. Plus we have weekly linen service. And there is an emergency response system in each apartment that is attended to immediately by our healthcare team, which includes a registered nurse. So let's talk a little bit about money, because that's always on everybody's mind. So here we have a chart with 3 distinct components of the fee structure. The blue section is your entrance fee. And if you've seen the rate sheets or if you've looked at the rates on our website, you're going to see a section for entrance fee. And that amount is good for 1 or 2 people. You don't have to double it if it's 2 people. The green section is the life care component. And that is per person. That is your life care contract. And today in 2022, the rate for that is $105,000 per person. And that is the portion that is tax deductible the first year that you're at Kendal. The third part of the fee structure is the monthly service fee. That's the pink section. And that's what you pay month to month for your apartment, for your transportation, housekeeping, the meal a day. If for some reason you ever need 24-hour care, you're automatically switched to 3 meals a day at no extra charge. So, and that also has a portion that is tax deductible. So this is a quick snapshot of what the fees are. Again, we don't treat you as a group. Everybody is treated individually, and it is in your best interest to come in and see either Tyler or myself to really talk about these fees in detail. So we have 2 kinds of contracts. There's a non-refundable and a 50% refundable. The non-refundable contract amortizes over 4 years. So even though it says non-refundable, the first 4 years that you're here, you can get a portion of your entrance fee returned to you. And that portion is determined by when it is that you say you need to move out, or if you should have passed away, it would go to your estate. It declines 2% a month every month. So if you want to look at, let's look at a year at a time. So you figure, well, after the first year, it will go down about 25%. After 2 years, it'll go down 50%. And then after you get that 4-year marker, there is no refund after 4 years. So let's use an example. Your entrance fee is $100. After year 1, you would get back $75. After year 2, you'd get $50. After year 3, you'd get $25. And after year 4, we're going to have a little party and some cake and everybody's friends, right? And that's how that contract works. This is the most cost-efficient way to come into Kendal. And it is a very good tool depending on your monthly income, your assets, and your age. Then we have the 50% refundable contract. So the 50% refundable works very much like the non-refundable for the first 2 years, just about the first 2 years, because it will amortize that same 2% a month. But when it gets to that 50% marker, it puts on the brakes. It will never go less than 50%. So no matter how long you're at Kendal, once you are no longer a resident, 50% of your entrance fee will be refunded to you or to your estate, and that's guaranteed. This does not reflect on your life care fee. This is the entrance fee. So if you remember the pie, there were 3 sections, and this was the entrance fee section. So now what if you have long-term care insurance? How does that work? Well, if you don't have long-term care insurance, it's okay, because your life care fee is your long-term care insurance policy, and it covers you 100%. If you do have long-term care insurance, it's a wonderful tool to bring with you to Kendal, because number one, in your apartment, let's say 10 years from now, you would want some help in your apartment. Maybe you need some help with some daily living activities. You want somebody to go to the store for you. You need that little extra help. Many times your long-term care insurance policy will pay for an aide to help you in your apartment. You do need to check your policy to see if that is part of it. And then if you do ever need to get care in assisted living, memory care, or skilled nursing, we will help you to submit your claim to your insurance company, but we're going to continue to keep billing you your same monthly fee month after month. The claim will be submitted and the check goes to you. So let's say your policy covers you $200 a day. We're going to continue to bill you your monthly service fee, and then that $6,000 that your insurance covers, that check is going to go to you. We want nothing to do with it. So whether you have long-term care insurance or not, either way, you still gain benefits from being at Kendal. So here is the financial calculator I want to share with you. This is a wonderful tool because it will help to look at you as an individual and how you will fit in with either our non-refundable or refundable contract. It is a computer program that was developed by a CPA. And what it does is when we input your assets, it automatically will calculate the return on those assets over 10, 15, 20 years, whatever we put in there. The other thing is we input the cost of the apartment and what your monthly service fee is. And it will automatically figure out that, well, you know, the monthly service fee does increase annually roughly 3%, and it plugs that in too. So what it does, this is great, is if you can see here, this section here. So right here, this green area was the type of contract that was selected by this couple. These were their assets, and it shows that over 21 years, their assets grew being at Kendal. This area here compares the 50% refundable and the declining contract, and it shows how they affect your asset, how your assets are affected over the years. Additionally, you get a printout of everything that we put in there. So let's say you think you want a 1-bedroom and a den, or maybe a 2-bedroom, and you're not quite sure which one am I going to be comfortable with. We can put in those numbers and create a report for each one of those. And you can take this to your financial planner. And as somebody said to me yesterday that I did with this, she said, Lois, now I can sleep at night, because she really was not sure where she would be, and that she wanted to make sure that her family would have assets. So, after in her estate. And this answered a lot of questions for her. So how do we get to Kendal? Well, you start talking to Taylor and I. You come in and we need that time together. We need to get to know each other. You can do a financial calculator. You select an apartment. You have to submit medical and financial applications. Then you sign your contract. You submit a 10% deposit. And from that day, your life care contract is in force. Even before you move in, if there should be a critical life change and you needed long-term care, you've got it. And then Melvin, who you met early on, he's very active with the apartment renovations and the finishes and getting it all set and getting moved in. And then around 30, 60 days or so, you pay the 90% balance, your apartment is all beautiful and renovated, and it's time to move in. But what I do want to add to this is that we are running a very high occupancy right now. We're at 95.5%. And it's important, if you have a strong interest in Kendal, to join the wait list. And what does that take? Joining the wait list, whether it's 1 or 2 people, the deposit is $2,000. It goes in an escrow account and it earns interest while it's sitting there. So for some reason down the road, you want a refund, you can get it back with interest. There's also a $250 application fee that's not refundable. There are people, if you're looking at more than one community, I've seen people put waitlist deposits in more than one community, because there comes a time when you say, I'm ready to move in, you want to know who has availability. But more importantly, the waitlist members are who's called first when an apartment becomes open. So those are the advantages that you get of being a waitlist member. Oh, let me go this way. Here we go. So I just want to reiterate on the 3 main points: finance, culture, and care. There's 100 things that are going to be important to you when you look at a retirement community. But when you're comparing one to another, these are the 3 key issues that's going to separate the ones that are of interest for you to the ones that aren't. So let me recap finance. We have 900 days of cash on hand. We could pay for the next 3 years. If we had no income, we would be able to pay all our bills and our refunds. We are certified in our good business practices. We've been open for 16 years plus, very, very solid financially over those 16 years. And we are at 95.5% occupancy. The culture of the community is one where the residents coordinate the programming. You do what you want when you want. There is no activities director. telling you what you need to do. And there's a Quaker base of caring, love, and respect for one another. And then the care, the health care. If that ever becomes necessary, you know that you're getting the finest care available. All of the higher levels of living have are apartments that are single apartments with private bath. You never have to share an apartment or an accommodation with anyone. Every level of care has nurses, and in skilled nursing, there's doctors, there's registered nurses, and you also have physical therapy and occupational therapy. Our nursing home also does rehab therapies for folks. So let's say you had a knee replacement and you need some subacute rehab. You can come right to Kendal, do the subacute rehab right there, and then go back to your apartment. So these three main points are things that we always want to continue to talk about, and they should be the foremost in your mind. So what I'd like to do now is share with you stories from our residents. This video that you're going to see is largely our founding residents that moved in 16 years ago. There's two couples that moved in just a few years ago on the video, but you're going to see employees that have been with us for 16 plus years and residents and what Kendal has meant to them. So please enjoy this time with us.
We knew about Kendal. We came here. Our socks were knocked off by the setting, by the park next door, by the attitude and welcoming nature of the people here.
I feel that I have the chance to be myself and private if I wish to be, or as social as I wish to be. I mean, there's opportunity for the personality to, to flourish.
What I've experienced is a lovely community of people who are more or less like me.
I've been here 16 years at Kendal, and what I like about it, what keeps me here, are the people.
I know it was the right move. I've been very happy here, and it's been 16 years now. So that's a long time, and I'm still happy.
Kendal on Hudson is a unique community. It is based off of the Kendal values, and what those values bring to the community is a sense of home. It is meant to be inviting and welcoming. Everyone is here to care and support and work together. And to do that, you have to be open and welcoming and listening and caring for one another. And that helps to extend all of us to be one Kendal family, here to grow and learn and live together and support one another.
This was the only place we ever looked at. And it was because of its Quaker history and the Quaker values. We're not Quaker, but we thought that the people who respected Quaker values would be people that we would be comfortable with. And that's still one of the strong points of Kendal, I think. It's really the people that Kendal attracts that makes Kendal the kind of place you want to be.
Kendal is unique because the community provides the opportunity for residents to have that active, lively lifestyle that they're looking for. But what's really important is that residents are participants in the community life and in the decision-making of how life is lived on this campus.
I love all the activities that go on.
We have 29 committees that run from art to horticulture to opera. So we make sure that residents have activities that they want to do.
We have a course every month, a lecture every week, a concert every other weekend, and movies every night.
We've had speakers on climate change, astronomy, music, and art, all kinds of things.
There's plenty to keep one not only active, but there's room to explore latent areas that you had always wanted to do, but didn't have the confidence. And there's so many people to tutor you here.
We have 10 or 12 book clubs, a beautiful library that is connected to the Westchester system.
One outstanding speaker we've had is Nancy Gibbs, who was the managing editor of Time magazine. We've had authors, we've had local people to tell us about local history. We've had the Steel Drum Band from Tarrytown here a number of times, and they rock the place. And we've had traditional quintets, quartets, individual pianists and violinists and such.
I think what it means is that we do what we want to do, and we aren't forced to do what somebody else wants us to do.
Most rewarding is to see when the place gets busy, when I see everybody come down, or I see a new person come in and they're thrilled that, oh, the water is nice and warm, or they're thrilled that there's a water class, or that they participate.
There's a swimming pool, which is beautiful. I try to swim 3 times a week. The gym is very well equipped, extremely well run. There's any level of exercise that you want, capable of, they can individualize your program.
And what's really great and I really love about this job is that you can make a difference. You can actually work closely with someone hands-on, or you can teach a class. People have fun. It's a social area, the fitness center. It's not just exercise. People come to socialize there as well. And it's so nice. It's a happy place.
The grounds, I think, are lovely, and they've become more so as the place has matured. It's you know, when you drive in and you say, oh my gosh, I live in this place, it's so beautiful. The colors of the buildings and the grounds and the trees and the flowers, it's just like an oasis.
Many of our friends said, boy, if I could live on the Hudson River, if I could live next to a forest, I'd move here.
We are both outdoor people, and having access to the park here and being able to spend a lot of time walking and enjoying the setting and the scenery has been very important to us.
It's extremely beautiful. It has a view of the Hudson, and many apartments have a view of the river. Gorgeous sunsets almost every night. The river itself is very peaceful and beautiful. Right next door is a park, a lovely place to walk. So physically, it's an idyllic space, and that helps. That's part of its allure.
I know it's formally referred to as continuing care retirement community, and I like the concept of that. I like the independent living and total independence that you're given while you're here. If something should happen, there's an assisted living, there's an acute area, and people are here to care for you right through.
Folks move in, they enter into a lifetime contract for services. You pay an entry fee and monthly fees. You receive all of the services of the community, 1 meal a day, housekeeping, maintenance, transportation, activities, access to the wellness center, and very importantly, guarantee of care for the rest of your life at whatever level of care you might require.
When we first told the kids that we were coming here, they said, what are you going to an old age community for? You're in great shape. You're going to live for a long time. They're now very happy that we're here because we've relieved them of a tremendous responsibility. And that's what it's all about. It relieved them and it relieved me. And when my wife was in the nursing facility, in a sense, that relieved me. The wonderful thing was I could go and visit her virtually anytime because she was right here, a part of the community.
A few years after my wife and I came here, she developed dementia. She now lives in Sunnyside, which is the memory unit, because I couldn't take care of her needs. She's been there about 4 years. And that process, it went in every way that I could wish. I mean, I think the care that they give in Sunnyside is extremely good. So that's a special affection I have for Kendal.
One thing that was very important to the two of us was that our children not have to worry as we got older. And we know we're taken care of while we're still healthy. We have friends, we come, we go, we do whatever. But if the point comes where we can't do that, we'll be taken care of very well.
Finding places that are humane and generous in their treatment of us as individuals, I think is a very important thing. And I think we found that here.
I would say that moving to Kendal was probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made.
If you're looking for a place where you will enjoy living, Kendal is that place.
I hope that you enjoyed that video as much as I did. It always warms my heart, and I get a little twinkle in my eye too every time I see it. So to sum it up, here we are on the Hudson, next to Rockwood Park, 38 minutes from New York City, and right next to Phelps Hospital. Folks, what more is there that could be any better than Kendal on Hudson? So we're going to now move into questions and answers. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but for a brief moment, if for some reason we can't get to everyone today, you can contact Kristen, her phone number, her email, or you can contact either Taylor or myself. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we will get back on video. There you are. And Kristen, I will get you going. There you go. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so, oh my goodness, 57 chats in here. I think that Taylor's been answering a lot of them.
Yes. Taylor has been answering a lot of the questions as the presentation has gone on, but let's check the Q&A box.
Yeah, let's do that first. What do we have there? Okay, so we have some requests for this program is being recorded, so if anybody wants it, we can certainly send it to you. But there's nothing better than coming in. You can see pricing on the website, or we can also send that to you electronically or by hard mail. So does Kendal provide a care manager to coordinate medical services? You will find that when you are in any long-term care area, we do have caseworkers. In independent living, we have a wellness center with a nurse practitioner that you could visit. And we highly suggest that you keep your physicians. You know, if you're moving from a distance and you want to change physicians, we do have two primary care physicians that are in our wellness center from Phelps that you could just meet with, coordinate with, and then you can develop a whole conglomerate of doctors that you need. But independent living is that, it's independent living. And you would be coordinating your care as you've always been doing it. But once you are in memory care, skilled nursing, or assisted living, you do get a case and care manager. So Taylor, if you want to turn your mic on, we can get you in here too with some questions. Let's see, 11:20.
Hi, everybody. I do want to apologize. I was typing away at all of your answers and I realized that I was only answering to the panelists. So I'm so sorry, but we will get to your questions.
Okay, so let's do that. So are there any medical conditions that would keep you from becoming a resident? Do you want to take that, Taylor?
Sure. So essentially, the medical qualification process, to put it simply, we just need to make sure that you are fully safe to live independently. Here at Kendal on Hudson, your safety is our top priority, and we never want to put somebody in a living situation that they are not going to thrive in. So essentially, when you apply to be an independent living resident for our community, you cannot be receiving any assistance with your daily activities, showering, getting dressed, remembering to take medication. Now, what I always remind people of is we don't have a crystal ball. That would certainly make things a whole lot easier, but the medical side of the application process is unfortunately in our position where we will see things get sticky. Life and situations can drastically change overnight, and it's so important to ensure that if you feel in your heart you want to be a part of our community, that you are strategizing a timeline that allows you to qualify. With that being said, as I'm sure you've already gathered from the presentation today, we have such a vibrant community with so many opportunities for activities and culture, both within Kendal and the greater community. And this is a place that you want to join when you're able to take full advantage of all of that.
Yeah, and that was a great cover of, covering that question. And now we're going to move over to some financial information. Here's a really good one. How much do fees increase? And that's important to know. So what is going to go up every year are your monthly service fees. And that will raise roughly 3%. It could go 3.5%. Could go 4%, but largely over the years, it's been in that 3% area. Entrance fees year to year go up that same range, 3.5%. And that is, we look at those increases by what has happened in the past. So those predictions are based upon our track, our history, our track record. So it's important too to pick a right time when to move into Kendal, so that you can lock yourself into an entrance fee and at a base of a monthly service fee that's going to be right for you.
Before we move on from this question, I do just want to add, because there were several similar questions that are on this topic. When you are financially approved to join our community, we have the most incredible finance team that ensures that long-term, our community is a good fit for you. We want you to be able to join our community comfortably, and they also approve you with all of those future increases. And of course, with your lifestyle in mind, we want to make sure that you are still traveling, you are still shopping, you are still going out to eat, spoiling your grandchildren. So we do a great financial process that ensures that we're a good fit for you.
So here's another, these are great questions. So someone wants to know, what happens if someone needs skilled nursing and the nursing community is full? Well, if it's an emergency, of course, we will place you at a nursing home. If, you know, at whatever expense it needs to be done on Kendal's side, you will still be billed your same monthly service fee. But I have to tell you that all of the proportionate size of all of the communities in Kendal were done actuarially. I haven't known our nursing home to ever be filled where we had to refuse a resident. We do have a small portion that's designated to rehab, and rehab patients generally are in and out, some for 5 days, maybe some for 2 weeks. So there's always that turnover. You will be cared for. You will not be neglected. I can tell you that for sure. And the conditions that require specialized care is, listen, in all honesty, you're going to know when it's rough to be living on your own. You'll know it yourself. It's activities of daily life, bathing, dressing. Also, there's the cognitive portion of aging. And, you know, we have a very strong sense of community. Your housekeeper is going to get to know you. Your wait staff is going to get to know you. Maintenance is going to get to know you. And if something's happening where, you know, you're maybe falling out of your routine, or maybe we see that your appetite's gone off, you know, we might say, are you feeling okay? And if we notice that there might be some cognitive changes, you provide a list of people that we're allowed to speak to, and we might share with your family that we've noticed some changes and that it should be investigated. But you do know in your heart when it's time for that 24-hour care. And you can't see that now because, you know, you're feeling good. Let's see. So one wants to know if we were going to show charts of different cost choices. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have time for that. It is on our website, and we'd be very happy to email it to you or send it to you. But I can tell you the range. It runs from $500,000 to over $1 million for entrance fees. It's based upon square footage. The bigger the apartment, the higher the price. A river view is going to cost more than a garden view. And a 50% refundable contract is going to cost more than a declining contract. So again, I couldn't stress more about going through the financial calculator. And you don't have to be committed to anything to do a financial calculator. Taylor and I would be very happy to walk you through that at any time. I'm just reading through the questions now. And when you do move to Kendal, we do ask you, who's your power of attorney? Who is your healthcare advisor? You know, what documents do you have in place for your future care? And that all becomes a part of your record here so that we know if something comes up, we know who to reach. So the tax deduction, again, is something that you need to talk to your tax preparer, because I'm not the best at that. I've always had somebody file my taxes because I'm not good at it. But you can get a refund when you have to be eligible for a refund. You have to make enough money to get a refund. And because of the cost, it's considered prepaid medical. And people have had huge success here at Kendal with getting tax deductions. We do have a letter that goes out to our residents every year that we could be happy to share with you. We could send it to you or give it to you when you come in for, a tour or meet with Taylor and I. We do not have a respite plan in assisted living. So let's say someone's not a resident and they want to come for respite. We don't offer that. But there is occasion when there's a rehab for a resident, or of course, maybe where the resident might need a little bit of assisted living to perk them up before they go back to their apartment. And that we do have for our residents. So what medical facilities are within 15 miles of Kendal? So Taylor, help me out. We have Phelps, we have Westchester Medical.
So Phelps Hospital we're actually technically on Phelps property. We have residents who utilize Phelps for their doctor's appointments and they just walk there. It's so close, but our drivers are also happy to take you. I can't recall if Lois had touched on this earlier, but we do provide transportation to any of your medical appointments within a 15-mile radius. I do want to say that we do welcome majority of our residents from Westchester County, but of course we have a large amount of residents that join us from the city, and even from out of state. We've welcomed in people from all across the country. So by the time you get to the point where you have to start considering, doctor's offices for you, who are you going to access? That is a conversation that you can have with our medical team about who's local, who they recommend, who our residents utilize. I think it's safe to say that our resident services team would also point you in the right direction. And that's also a conversation to be had with your insurance provider to see who you're covered under in the area.
Taylor, do you want to explain to our friends here today what our linen service covers?
Yeah, so a linen service is a service that you can opt into at any point during your time at Kendal on Hudson. It is essentially a weekly linen service where our housekeeping team will come and change out your sheets and towels weekly at no additional charge. And again, you can opt into that at any point.
So again, we're going to skip back to some financial question. So part of the contract, because we're a life plan community, is when you are financially approved, you are given guaranteed lifetime residency. So if you should outlive your funds, you never have to leave Kendal on Hudson. We will ensure your residency with us. And that's why we do a financial application, because we want to make sure that people are comfortable here and can afford to live here. But listen, folks are living to age 100 plus very easily, and we want to know that will we have enough of our retirement funds to get us there? That's why I say, by using that financial calculator, if you're 70 years old, we can run it out for 35 years and show you a snapshot to age 105. If you're 80 years old, we can do 25 years to show you out to age 85. So, and we do factor in inflation, but the backup to all of this is that you do get guaranteed lifetime residency. So there's no need to worry, but we're able to show you what your retirement dollars will look like. Let's see. Okay. So once, yeah, somebody wants to know, once you've made the 10% deposit, so the transition of the wait list is once you sign your contract and pay your 10% deposit, you're then considered a resident. Go ahead.
Can I jump into a waitlist question? I'm getting a lot of private messages and you're all asking the same thing privately, is how long can I stay on the wait list? And we cannot emphasize enough, you take the step to join the wait list before you're ready. I have so many people that say, well, I'm not ready to join the wait list. That is when you should be joining, because when you join that wait list, over time, you are going to gain priority as the people ahead of you move into the community. If we call you and you decline an apartment, you will not get pushed down. Now, the hardest part of our jobs here is there is no master equation that will solve how long you are on that wait list. Just a little bit about how the wait list runs is we call you as apartments become available. In our position, we never know what's becoming available or when it's becoming available. And the people who are ahead of you on the wait list are also unpredictable. Everyone's looking at a different timeline. Some people have very specific requirements on the apartment they're willing to call home. So our biggest recommendations are join the wait list as soon as you feel that Kendal could be a possibility in your future. The deposit you make is fully refundable if you decide to not move forward with our community, but it is absolutely critical. As Lois already shared today, our community is at 95.5%, and any apartment that's available is spoken for, and people are under the application process to move into said apartment. So especially moving forward, the waitlist is a critical and necessary step.
And at any time, if you don't feel like coming into the community, we can certainly have a Zoom meeting. So there's all options. It's so important. You know, you hear us talking about the wait list, but it's connection. It's us, it's Taylor and I connecting with you and staying in touch with you. If Kendal is what you want, those are the right next steps to take. Let's see, what else? Do you see anything? I see some new ones. You know, we should talk about the current condition of COVID. And we do not have any restrictions right now other than what is being mandated by the Department of Health. We do have visitation. It's required that people that are visiting anyone in skilled nursing, that they be vaccinated and boosted. And also they may also need to have a negative COVID test. We do ask to social distance and use the masks. Folks, you know, when you're vaccinated and boosted and you wear a mask, you have a terrific line of defense. And we adhere to all the regulations. We've done very well throughout COVID. We do have, I believe there are 3 residents that are positive right now in independent living. They are quarantining in their apartments. They're not showing any signs of you know, that they're ill. All of our residents have been vaccinated. I think it's well over 90% that have been boosted. And back in September, Kendal mandated that every employee be vaccinated. And now we have to be boosted, and we're having CVS visit us on Friday to make sure that whoever hasn't gotten their booster shot will, because that now also is mandated. So we have a strong line of defense, folks, and you can come and visit us. Don't be worried about that, and people are moving in. When it comes to diversity, I would say that religiously, Kendal is very diverse. You will find Christian, Jewish, Quaker, all sorts of religions here, and everyone gets along splendidly. I would say that Kendal is a progressive community in its thinking. It's liberal minded. They do enjoy talking about the culture, the news culture. We don't have political organizations here, but we do have a very strong community interested in continuing education. That is a big, big driver here. So that has to do with the culture. If you want to give us a try overnight, we can also We can also have you stay over in one of our guest suites. And we do have to do that certain times of the week, but that is something that we can talk about later. You know, if you have a specific interest in that. As far as the racial and ethnic diversity, we have many Asian people. We have people from India. We have people from, where else, Taylor? France, England.
Canada.
Yep, Canada, Mexico. And that's just off the top of my head. And everyone is welcome. And I think, and that's the end of the questions. We went over the hour. I'm more than happy. Well, let's look at the questions and answers again. How do you deal with out-of-state people who have state medical insurance? We have a gal, her name is Shirley. She does all the billing, and we get Shirley in this conversation so she can help you with picking out or making whatever changes you might need with your state insurance. Let's see.
Somebody just asked a really great question. They said, can or do some residents continue to work outside of the community part-time? We have residents who still commute down to the city for their full-time jobs. I have to just share that once you make a move to our community, your life does not slow down unless you really want it to. But our residents jokingly and happily share that they are busier than ever after they join our community, from continuing their life before they made their transition to Kendal to all of the opportunities there are with committees and interest groups right here on campus.
And to sum it up, we do have a strategic plan. There are board members that are the chair of the strategic plan. And staff members are staff liaison to the board members. I'm part of the diversity committee, and I'm also part of the community outreach. We have finance, we have health, and that's off the top of my head, but we do have a very strong strategic plan. We are a 501c3 not-for-profit, so we have a board of directors. We are person-centered, not bottom-line centered. And if you can't tell, Taylor and I could talk to you all day because we love what we do. We're very passionate about Kendal and the services that it brings. And there's nothing more that we want than to really get to know you. Please, when we follow up with you, let's talk in person or by Zoom. We want to personalize our service to you. It's much more in person. It's better in person one-on-one than in a group setting. Today was to give you a little taste of Kendal, and we're so happy that you allowed us in your homes, and we were happy to share the video to show you our home. So with that said, ladies, we had a wonderful attendance, didn't we?
We had such a great attendance. I do just wanted to say thank you again for everyone who joined. If you are not local to Westchester, we are always happy to have a one-on-one Zoom call with you. We can show you the community through Zoom. We do the financial calculator through Zoom. But if you are local, please come by, schedule a tour with us. We'd be so happy to meet with you. And thank you again.
Have a beautiful day. Stay safe, stay warm. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. I did put my email and phone number in the chat if anyone is interested in receiving the recording. I've heard from a few people that they'd like to get it, so just feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to receive it, and I'd be happy to send it over.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Take care.